Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tusk Talk with Ty on a lovely Monday night. Very nice, agreeable weather outside, Travis.
It's been a good day for me.
Yeah, I bet, dude. I bet.
I got up wearing jeans and then regretted it.
Well, welcome everybody. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We added another Patreon member, by the way. We added another one. I was going to say his name and hang on. Hogs by 90 has joined Tusk Talk with Ty. Not only did he join Patreon, but he also joined Discord all on the same day. So shout out to you, Hogs by 90. Please come join us as we talk, Razorback football, and I'm going to give you some exclusive content on Patreon. I want to start off with this really quick. Got some news today at practice that the University of Arkansas, the athletic department, specifically football, is shrinking who they're allowing into practice. So, as an independent content creator, I hung on there. I hung in there as long as I could. I knew this day was coming. Your boy will not be back at practice. Cool that I ever got to that point. I'm happy that the U of A ever allowed me to do something like that. They were pretty cordial about it. They let me stay the entire day at practice. Like, I'm talking the entire day. I got a lot of footage, a lot to say about day one, but I'm going to tell you, I'm not the only one. I've talked with a couple of media people. It's not just the independent creators. It could also be some of the larger, more well-established media outlets may be restricted as to who they're going to allow into practice. So this isn't surprising because why? They last fall, you guys remember, they completely shut down practice to the media. And we had heard rumblings that this could be down the pipeline. So this isn't shocking. It's not surprising. I was really, I was excited to see the newbies, and I got to see them today, so it was a good day. Not a great day, but a good day. Could have been better had they allowed me to hang around, but I get it. But yeah, I'm not the only one. There are other independent creators that are no longer allowed at practice. They've already kicked some folks out last spring. I think it was last spring they kicked some folks out. So this was coming. It's coming down the pipeline. So don't worry, Patreon content is still coming. I've talked with Courtney Mims. Courtney's she's gonna do a little bit of work with me. We might work with some stuff with Patreon. And of course, I know I can lean on my boys, Travis, and I don't know if we're going to let him in. We got
no late Timmy.
We got our live from Folsom Prison, Tim Neal.
Without a hat.
Oh, and he turned his camera off.
Yeah,
okay.
He realized
Hold on, I'm checking. See if I can get rid of Folsom Prison for you. I don't know if it'll let me do that now.
I'm so uninterested in football. You
look like Slay Biddy.
Sleepy Tim.
I don't even know.
Sleepy Tim, that's fair.
So Tim, I don't know how much that you caught, but I'm not going to be back at practice this spring.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. These PM practices were already a pain in the ass. Like, I had to haul ass to get I was talking to Courtney Mims about this. I had to haul ass to go pick my kids up, because I don't usually get them until almost 3:20, 3:30, and then drive 35, 40 minutes to Fayetteville. I barely get there on time. So it was already kind of a pain. And our kids have after school stuff that they were going to have to miss because my wife doesn't get off work till after 5 o'clock. So this was already like a huge headache. So it's kind of a relief in one way. And on another, in another way, it kind of sucked. But I'm going to save some. Like I said, last fall camp, this is going to save me gas money. So that's one way of looking at it. But like I said, I was texting you guys today. I got a lot. I got to see a lot. It was a full day. But yeah, so let's get started. First off, shout out to, of course, the one and only Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, Travis and Tim. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not. But they offer same-day services, and guess what? Hundreds of 5-star reviews, closing in on 1,000.
We're almost there, dude. My new guy is killing it with reviews. So
Awesome.
We're almost to 1,000. He's getting like 4 or 5 reviews a day. I'm with it.
Wow. So is it like any day now? You guys are gonna hit that 1,000?
Jeremy Brigham's in here. What's up, dude? My bad. I haven't talked to him in like forever.
And emergency service offered 24/7, 365 days a year. 501-244-3667. So shout out to Direct Service Overhead. And of course, Patreon supporters who are keeping this ship afloat alongside sponsors. So appreciate everyone. Make sure you guys like, share, and hit the subscribe button. I know, again, it's a little later. This is typically the later you go, it's going to be tougher, as far as getting people in here. But if you're watching this after the fact, do us a solid and also share the content. All right.
Is that why you don't like doing it late?
What's that?
That's why you don't like doing them late?
There's a couple of reasons. Like we got a lot.
I goes to bed at like 8:30. Don't let them lie to you guys.
No. I wish. We're usually watching like Game of Thrones, at like 9 o'clock.
I've still never seen an episode of that. It's legit.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God.
First 5 seasons are fantastic. After that, you're on your own.
After the cupcake games with Arkansas football's over, you should just switch and watch Game of Thrones on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Sorry. Real ADHD in this thing.
So, all right, Tim, it's also good to have you on here, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
What does that mean?
I'm in the new digs. I'm in the new studio. I haven't got soundproofing stuff up yet, but this is the new kind of place.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
They let you have your own room there in
Folsom
prison.
Yeah. No hats, but I've got my own room.
All right, everybody. Well, let's get started off. First, let's start with baseball really quick. I don't know how much you guys got to catch this weekend, but Arkansas continues to hit the living shit out of the ball. They're hitting.
John Haas is in stitches, man.
I know. He's going to be beside himself after.
Hey, whatever he's got going on Twitter, I'm with it. I support it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, every game he posts this thing.
And, the Nate Trumps. Yeah,
it's working. So I'm cool with
it. So here's what Arkansas did over the weekend against Portland, or as I like to call them, Portlandia.
Mm-hmm.
They won game 1, 20-3. That's right. This one ended early, 7 innings, and then game 2 did the exact same thing, 10-0 in 7 innings. By the way, they got a baseball card pack, 1 of 4. For the first 1,000 fans. So if you're a diehard baseball fan, you might have gotten your hands on a pretty cool card or several. And then game 3 was a little bit tighter, 5-3. They still ended up with like 8 or 9 hits in game 3, but they just struggled to score. They
knew I predicted them to get 10 runs and just wanted to screw me out of my XP. That's what happened.
Yeah, same. I thought they would too. We have the next game coming up is on Tuesday against UCA. It's a late one, 6 p.m. on a Tuesday night. So I don't know, man. You've got nothing better to do. Why not turn on the game? But
my wife just loves baseball.
The prediction is if Arkansas is going to run rule UCA or not. That's the prediction. If Arkansas is
they're going to.
It's overwhelmingly yes in the predictions. It's overwhelmingly yes. I don't think there's I don't know. Austin and Matt and the other Mike all voted no. Otto Johnson voted no. Aragorn voted no. There's a few more no's than I first saw. Okay. Well, that is double XP. So remember, we just started our new cycle, the new XP cycle on Saturday. We're just a couple of days in. You still got plenty of time to come in, get involved. Listen, we give away all sorts of stuff with this XP. So I don't know, man. Come on in. This is a shorter cycle. We're going to these shorter cycles. This is going to end on April 8th at 7 p.m. So join. You don't have to be a Patreon member. You can just join Discord. That's it. Come be a gray name.
Discord's lit. I'm a gray name, I think. Am I? No.
No, you're a sponsor, so you got that.
I got a money bag name.
Arkansas right now is the 8th best hitting team in the SEC. Their batting average right now is what is it? It was pretty good. Their on base is 442, which it's in the middle when you're talking about comparing it to the rest of the SEC. Their average as a team, they're batting 320, which compared to the other SEC teams, that's 8. That's the 8th best. Fielding percentage, Arkansas is tied for first. I want to double check that. Maybe they're alone at the top. No. They're tied. Vanderbilt also with a fielding percentage of 989. Arkansas, it's like second best in the entire country. Think about that. 300 teams in the country. And Arkansas has played a couple. They've played some Bulldogs now. They've played some tough teams. Not a lot. Their strength of schedule's not real high yet. You know, of course, these numbers will start to come down, including their batting average. Their slugging percentage is in the upper part of the SEC. Their slugging percentage is at 598. So Arkansas is hitting the shit out of the ball right now. This is all going to come down once they get into SEC play. By the way, their batting average is good enough for 31st in the country. Keep in mind, like 2 weeks ago, they were in like the 70s, I think, 60s or 70s. So they've just been getting better and better. The younger brother, Aloy brother, listen to this. So Hogs are number 3 in slugging percentage in the SEC behind Tennessee and Georgia. Top 6 in the SEC on base percentage. Aloy, the younger brother, he has dropped, but he's still like top 20 in the country in batting average, hitting the ball or batting average of 468. And his on base is really good too. It's 22nd. My bad. 22nd in the country. Both he and Brent Iredale are top 20 in the country in total RBIs.
Wow. They're a savage combo, dude.
It's kind of sick, man. Aloy with 29 RBIs and Iredale with 25. So that's 50 plus RBIs just between those two alone.
Just giving out ass whooping and lollipops, man.
I'm telling you, though, they're doing dirty work there at the plate, man. They're doing a really good job. Let's see. What is he saying here? Chill with a sexy young thing and got a few before it's time to say goodnight. What? All right, man.
I love your out of context things because I'm just like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, for sure. No one's shook. Let me get them lotto numbers though. Yeah, John was hating on Nasty Nate. Now he's learning the hard way. Nasty Nate is he's in his bag this year. Definitely did a real good job in the portal. Yeah. All right, boys. Arkansas in the SEC tournament, taking on South Carolina. Let me pull this up if I remember to add it. I bet I didn't.
I know that's what I was grabbing my phone to pull up the bracket.
Well, here we go. This is it. It's going to block us off there, but there's
that's all right.
That's what we got. So Arkansas. I can kind of see your face there, Travis. No,
there we go.
I was going to say you should stick your head out like this. Should do it like this.
You're right.
So Arkansas is going to take on South Carolina here on Wednesday. What time is that game? What does that say?
Noon.
12 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
If we win, we play at noon for 3 days straight.
That's right. Yeah, because you got Ole Miss in the second round on March 13th, the following day.
At noon.
You know what's crazy is none of these look like nice brackets to get through.
No,
that's what Tim was saying the other day. And it's all kind of bad.
Well,
there's not one of these that I would trade for the one we're in.
Yeah,
they're all tough. There's not one that I'm like, man, I wish we were.
I'd take the bottom one if Kentucky played in Rupp. I'd take that one.
Who do you think is tougher on this Arkansas bracket? South Carolina, and I'm talking about for Arkansas, South Carolina or Ole Miss.
I think Ole Miss, honestly, I don't think South Carolina can do that shit again. I mean, crap again.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not getting blown out by South Carolina twice.
Yeah, I don't think
first of all, we're
happen.
not at South Carolina. Being in Nashville is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Neutral. Because they are a great home team, just like Vanderbilt's a great home team. But
Ole Miss is kind of trending downward right now, aren't they?
They've lost or they won 2 of their last 3, but before they beat Oklahoma and Tennessee, they lost 3 straight, which included losses at home to Mississippi State, at Vandy. They lost by 5, and then Auburn at Auburn. I mean, they got the crap kicked out of them 106-76, and then they beat Oklahoma by 3, and they beat Tennessee at home by 2.
Did you see the quote by Cal today? He was talking about how he doesn't care about the tournament, the SEC tournament. He's like, that's why we always
right here.
I don't care about the conference tournament, which is why we won it so many times, because I could care less. The tournament that matters is the NCAA tournament. Now, you play that tournament to get the best seed you can get. And if you're going to get to the finals, win. Or don't go to the finals and lose because you're exhausted and you got to play on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm like, let's play well and try to improve our seed.
So that's
that one.
I thought I'd throw that up. I knew you were going to mention it.
That tied in perfect.
So of course that's Hogs Plus. That's who that video was by. Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to give you hope for the SEC tournament. I'm not really sure.
I don't think he cares one way or the other, but my expectations are like what I'd be okay with is if we definitely need to get some get back on South Carolina.
Yeah.
I'd be content if we beat Ole Miss and then that was that. I wouldn't care.
I feel like we need to win one anyway. We need to win one, and then I don't care if we lose one for sure puts us in the tournament. I know they're saying 67% right now or 63% right now that we're in.
Yeah.
I think one win guarantees it for sure. And then if we need the rest for having 7 players to play, then I'm okay with losing after South Carolina. I don't want to lose to South Carolina. I think we need that one. And I think it'll feel good for our guys to avenge that 20-point.
The only reason I'm cool with it, because I know everybody's like, oh, everybody's accepting mediocrity. No, I'm cool with it because we have 7 players.
Right.
On a basketball team. Otherwise, I'm like, no, we need to win that. I don't really care.
These guys, 4 games in a row, 4 straight days is exhausting.
And then
to end up an 11 or 12 seed and play early to a good team and lose again. I'd rather be rested.
Musk generally had early exits in the SEC tournaments anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, he only had like 1 year we went on a pretty good run where I thought they might actually play in the SEC championship. I think that was his second. Was it his second or third year?
Can you pull that bracket up one more time?
Yeah, hang on. Go back to it here.
I was trying to see if there's a possibility of us playing Kentucky again, but it looks like it would only be in the finals.
Yeah, in the finals. And
that would be a high rated game on TV.
I wonder if there's an advantage. I don't know. Is there an advantage to playing all these games at noon if you're able to advance?
Well, all season we've been playing night games, so it's probably the polar opposite for us. You know what I mean? Every time, like we're a night team for sure.
And remember, South Carolina happened when you played them at 11 a.m.
Exactly.
That game happened during the day. And Mississippi State, even though you controlled that game, you controlled the majority of that game, Mississippi State was still able to make that a ball game in the second half.
Yeah, that they blew a pretty good lead there.
16-point lead, man. And that's I mean, I don't know how to feel about the 3 of the last 4 games. It's a tough call. Like how comfortable are you with Arkansas? And like Travis said, they may need one more. I don't know. I don't know what the magic number is anymore. I've given up trying to figure it out. But I don't know. Listen, they've won. Actually, looking at it, I forgot Missouri was before Texas. I have it flipped with Auburn and Missouri. I thought Missouri was before Auburn, but they lost to Auburn in what was a pretty tough game on the road at Auburn, and then they turn around and then they win 4 of their next 5 games.
Yep.
And they do it in different ways, and they're doing this without, of course, without a Duthero. So I don't know.
Do we have an update on him yet?
No.
Say what?
I said, do we have an update on him yet?
So the only update we got an update. Was that today when Coach talked or yesterday? I think it was Kenny Payne that talked yesterday, wasn't it? Anyways, it wasn't Cal. And he said that he was asked, someone in the media asked him if he had any updates about Duthero. And I think he said he was going to travel, but that they hadn't gotten anything up to date from the medical staff. So I think he is going to travel, and I'm kind of wondering if they go on a run, if they do beat South Carolina, and they do take care of business against Ole Miss, do we see Duthero? And at that point now you're starting to worry about, like, yeah, you got to play. You got the NCAA. You're in at that point. There's no doubt. Arkansas is 100% locked into the tournament at the NCAA tournament. So then you got to start wondering, like, we've got a 7-man rotation, and March Madness literally starts really soon. Like, this is all going down really quick. So
I'd almost rather them sit them. Let him get all the way
well,
better.
I mean, if Brazil's going to keep playing the way he's playing, which is almost reminding you of old Brazil, and if Adu can build off that last game, then all of a sudden, I mean, a 7-man rotation is not ideal, but at least they're stepping up and doing something after a full season of being clouds, being pillows on the court, incapable of much. All of a sudden, if they're real factors in the game like they have been, then I don't feel so bad about it. I mean, I'd rather have 9 men. I'd rather have 11.
What do y'all think about the rumor that Boogie might try to play in the tournament?
Man,
I'm good with it, dude. I'm good with it.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't want fans to get false hope and then it just not happen. I mean,
it is definitely a rumor, by the way.
Yeah.
A Twitter rumor. So I don't know, guys.
And here's the thing: does he come in and disrupt what's happened with DJ?
I don't think they put him at the point guard.
I think then where do you put him?
Depth. Where Billy Richmond's playing point guard, put him in there.
Well, you think though, if they're getting him ready if let's say he is clear for the NCAA tournament. He's not participated in warm-ups. He's not done anything. Like that's usually
Nick Smith problems.
Yeah, I mean it's usually like a process to where you feel comfortable getting on the floor. I don't know what good he would be unless if he was already in warm-ups, if he was already traveling, which I think he did actually travel to Vanderbilt, if I'm not mistaken. But
I think so.
If he's participating, then okay, yeah, realistic opportunity, especially if you go on a run in the SEC tournament. I just don't see it happening. Adu Thero feels more plausible,
realistic,
I
guess.
Yeah, I think definitely Adu. Yeah, I could see Adu coming back before Boogie, but depending upon what the situation is and what's actually hurt.
So what do you think happens here? Do you like your realistic expectations here? Do you think does Arkansas get past South Carolina? Now, Tim already said it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, it's not happening again.
I think they'll get past South Carolina.
So both of you think they're going to beat South Carolina?
Absolutely.
Okay. So then that's on to Ole Miss. What then?
Ole Miss.
Good defensive
I'll let
team.
Travis go first.
I think they'll get past Ole Miss just because the trajectories of the two teams, of the way both teams are going, one's going up and one's either leveling out or going down. I know they won. You said what, 2 of 3?
Yeah, they won. They lost like 2 of their last. Hang on, 1, 2, 3.
It just feels like this is a completely different team than Ole Miss played.
Yeah,
because
they've won 2 of their last
0-5 start. They what?
They've won 2 of their last 6.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, they're trending down. Yeah. So, yeah, I think they could get past South Carolina, Ole Miss. I think Auburn's the end of the road. That's just my personal opinion. Auburn's probably one of the best teams in the damn country, if not the
best. Yeah, I was gonna say probably the best between them, and I don't really know. I part of me thinks it's just Auburn, but the NCAA tournament has a habit of proving everybody wrong. But I don't know. That's gonna be a really tough 1 seed.
Beating Auburn in that tournament is gonna be like Sam Pittman beating Tennessee last year for me. I'll be like, whoa, what? Just didn't see that coming a bit.
Well, I don't know. I kind of think that already happened though, man. When you beat Kentucky on the road and then turned around and beat Texas on the road. I kind of think they've already had that moment. They've had several of those moments, so much so, which is why weeks ago I was saying, 7's going to be enough to get Arkansas in because they're already racking up quad 1s. And then these other teams around them are doing them favors by winning and turning things around. I just felt like 7 was it. And now the last couple of weeks, it's like, a week or so, it's just been like, I don't know any longer what it's going to take. But I kind of feel like they've already had those moments. This would be, if Arkansas did get into if they did get past South Carolina, past Ole Miss, and they do play Auburn, and they beat Auburn, that's the biggest win no matter the sport of the year.
Yeah.
Just
if they beat Auburn, who they play? Probably Tennessee.
My guess would be either A&M or Tennessee. Yeah. And then you're likely going to play Florida in the final game. And by then
the first 4 seeds are all rested 2 days, or are they cold is the question.
That's also true. And that's also something we've seen in the
I think they play Kentucky.
Oh, yeah?
That would be amazing, dude.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
I don't think A&M. I don't think A&M comes out of there. Tennessee or Kentucky, honestly, is who's going to come out of there, and I think it'll be Kentucky.
You think Kentucky will beat Bama?
Yeah,
I don't. I think it'll end up being Alabama and Auburn at the end of it.
Kentucky,
that'd be a great game.
Alabama did sweep Kentucky this year, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Alabama's a good team this year, man.
3 times is hard.
It is 3 times is hard. At
3
Kentucky,
times is hard.
At Kentucky, they won 102-97, and then at home they won 96-83. I feel like that was the game that got like out of hand. Nope, it wasn't. Never mind.
You know what I think would be wonderful if Oklahoma beat Georgia and Kentucky. That would just be hilarious.
Well, yeah, you'd feel a lot better. But I think this ends up realistically. I'm going to be real. I don't know if I want to take Arkansas in this game or not. I really don't. South Carolina just plays such a physical brand of ball, and Arkansas just struggles with those kind of teams. Tennessee, very physical team. Tennessee ran Arkansas off the floor, but that was at a different time of the year. Whereas South Carolina happened right in your post-Adu Thero turnaround. So, like, after you were figuring things out, South Carolina mopped the floor with you, whereas that's not something South Carolina has done all year to other SEC teams. They've always come down to the final, few possessions where they're only winning or they're losing by a couple of points.
I just think that those things have been corrected maybe by now. I mean, you can't really turn up physicality, but whatever the hell they were doing, surely Cal's not going to be like, yeah, well, this is exactly what they're going to do, guys. Do this exact same thing you did.
Well, and the question comes down to how much of that physicality do you get away with away from home?
That's also fair.
Because the refs don't call the games the same. They just don't.
Yeah.
And it's very inconsistent with the SEC. Sometimes you get really physical games and get away with everything. And sometimes the refs just take control and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it depends on who the crew of refs is.
It does also matter who the crew of refs is and if they're going to try to take control of the game from the beginning.
Yeah.
So
appreciate all the sharing, by the way, on social media. Appreciate you guys. Kerper and John Hawes, I see you.
Oh, Mac Truck.
Travis, he shared. Look at you. Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
If you guys got any questions or comments, fire away. Let's play Tennessee again. I don't see that ending happening again. I that's the thing. We have seen Arkansas play some fantastic ball without their 2 best starters on the floor. And even then those teams are capable of doing what they did to Mississippi State. Or
look, we hung with Auburn. I mean,
and Alabama, wasn't it?
We hung with Alabama.
Yep.
So
second half.
I mean, anything could happen. Anything.
Yeah, well, it's just like Cal said in his presser last week. He said we can beat anybody or we can lose to anybody.
It's fair. It's fair.
I don't think we do. I think we beat South Carolina. Maybe beat Ole Miss. I'm not sure that we beat Ole Miss. I think we beat South Carolina and probably take the break.
I wouldn't even be.
I don't think Cal even tries to win this thing.
That's what I was gonna say. I wouldn't be butthurt if we were if we lost South Carolina and just rested.
I don't know.
I just want to make sure we're in. That's all.
Yeah.
I was given, someone tagged me in Discord. Unfortunately, no link. So Aragorn, if you're in chat, Brady, if you're in chat, I would love to know who this was. I tagged him in Discord asking who it was, and he's not responding. But it's obviously a clip from an article somewhere. And it says there's 2 different pieces here. Maybe this sounds familiar to either one of you two or anyone in chat. But they have 2 sets, right? You got don't lose early for teams that are trying to get into the NCAA tournament, talking about the SEC tournament, and then needs a run. Under don't lose early, they've got Georgia, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma, where they say the opening round game between Georgia and Oklahoma will be one of the most anticipated across the major conference tournaments. The winner is essentially set for the NCAA tourney, while the loser faces a nervy selection Sunday. Vanderbilt needs to avoid getting upset by Texas in the opening round to book a contest with Texas A&M, a matchup the Commodores won a couple of weeks ago. Then the teams that need a run, Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas.
I don't understand why we would need a run. We're higher seeded. We're better than Georgia to begin with.
I wish Brady would have
That
given
doesn't
me the
make any
link.
sense.
I don't know who this is, but they said John Calipari could miss the NCAA tournament in his first season with Arkansas unless the Razorbacks get hot this week. The program takes on last place South Carolina, which that doesn't matter as much as you would think. At the end of the day, it's quad one amount of wins and all that. And I mean, South Carolina, yeah, it's still not a great loss, and it wasn't when you lost to them. But the Gamecocks throttled Arkansas by 19 points 2 weeks ago. A win for the Razorbacks would book a second-round contest with Ole Miss, and a victory there would undoubtedly have Calipari breathing easier on Selection Sunday. I don't think Arkansas needs a run. I really don't.
I saw something. I was scrolling Twitter. I saw somewhere where it was Arkansas has more wins or more quad one wins than the entire ACC combined or something like that.
Well, no, definitely. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's right.
I was just searching for it, trying to find it because I wanted to quote it correctly.
If you could find it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is.
There was something about North Carolina or about Duke, how like 13 of the 16 SEC teams have more ranked wins than Duke. I don't know. The ACC was garbage. I mean, they are legitimately maybe only sending like 3 teams this year to the tournament, which is wild to think about. That is nuts. I mean, even like having a down year is one thing. That is abysmal to just send 3 teams. Now, to be fair, Duke is number 1 in not number 1. Sorry. They are where to go? Oh my God. There it is. Net rankings. No, yeah, they do have them at number 1. They have Duke at number 1 in the net rankings with a 7-3 quad 1 total amount of wins, which is crazy to me considering Auburn is 16-4. Neither team has a loss to quad 2, quad 3, or quad 4. Auburn is, in fact, undefeated on neutral floors at 6-0 with an 8-2 road record, while Duke is 10-1, and they're 1-2 on neutral floors. I don't understand that.
Yeah, the whole ACC has 14 quad 1 wins.
Yeah, it's bad. I knew it was bad.
Ooh-wee.
Duke has half of them.
Yeah. We have 4 of them.
I mean, I have watched Duke play a little bit. They are pretty good. I'd have a hard time not like if they don't make the Sweet 16, then they caught a bad matchup. I don't know. The best Big 12 team is Houston on the net ranking. They're 3rd with a 10-3 quad 1 record, 8-1 versus quad 2. Arkansas ended up, where were they? 40. No, they're up to 39.
Found it.
You found the quote?
I found the article. It's from thescore.com.
The article that was
who's a lock, who's don't lose early, who needs a run.
Okay.
Crazy.
So who was it again? The who?
Thescore.com.
Maybe it was the SEC has more quad 1 wins.
John
Calipari. 3 combined leagues or something.
John Calipari could miss the NCAA tournament his first season with Arkansas unless the Razorbacks get hot. The program takes on last place South Carolina in the first round, but the Gamecocks throttled Arkansas by 19 2 weeks ago. A win for the Razorbacks would book a second-round contest with Ole Miss, and a victory there would have Calipari breathing easier. He thinks we need to win too.
So I understand the argument because the argument is essentially beating South Carolina is nothing, losing to them is everything.
Kind of like it was during the season.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago. That's the other thing, recency. You're playing them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think may help also.
So then if you beat Ole Miss, who's where are they they're 27th in the net rank. So yeah, that would be a quad 1. They're 21-10 on the year, 5-6 on the road. I forgot Ole Miss was that bad on the road. 3-1 on a neutral floor, which is good. 7-9 in quad 1 wins, 5-1 with quad 2. So that's what's kind of holding them back from being a little bit higher on the net. But yeah, they're 27th. So beating them, I guess, on a neutral floor would in fact be a quad 2. or quad 1. Sorry, Dane. Okay, we got a name. There it is. Jeremy's hooking us up. Dane Bellback of The Score is the one saying we need a run.
Yeah.
Again, I get his logic. Like, South Carolina is essentially it's either nothing if you beat them and could potentially hurt you. Maybe he's right. But I just have such a hard time seeing the selection committee leaving a team like Arkansas, who's on the bubble, I guess if they're on the right side of the bubble, it is what it is. Considering what he carries, his notoriety, who he is, his infamy to Kentucky fans, all the drama and everything. I just have a hard time seeing them leave him out where Arkansas currently stands. They've only got one ugly loss, which I guess South Carolina would be the second if you do it again. So you'd have, 2 ugly losses to the same damn team. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
I figured Jeff Goodwin wrote that, wasn't it?
Oh my God, Jeff Goodwin.
That guy's such a dick.
He's not a real big fan of Arkansas for sure. Yeah. So I don't know, boys. I don't know what needs to happen. I've given up trying to guess and figure it out. At the end of the day, I can't read the selection committee's mind. I do think I think they're in, but I would feel a hell of a lot better if they didn't lose to South Carolina.
Yeah, I think out of principality, they don't need to lose to South Carolina again. They need to whoop their ass. Just straight up, dude.
Get out on them.
Yeah.
I mean, you got throttled last time you played them. It wasn't even a game. It doesn't help that Arkansas was shooting, what was it, like 9%?
It was ridiculous.
South Carolina wasn't shooting very good either. We just sucked more that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone said in our Discord, they made a really good point. They were like, I think those rims are they just must be really stiff, and Arkansas's not used to it or something. Maybe they didn't do enough shoot around before the game.
What's wrong with the backboard?
Yeah, right? A little too.
They spray Pam on these. What's going on here?
They're a little too wiggly. Someone loosened the screws or something on the back of the goal.
Man.
Yeah, hopefully that's what it is. I am with Tim, though. I do think whatever happens, either Arkansas wins by a little or they get full-on vengeance with it being on a neutral floor. Maybe they can clap them cheeks. You know what I mean? Maybe they can clap some Gamecock cheeks and they do the same thing to them. Because basketball is also a weird sport. We're talking about baseball. Basketball is a weird sport where playing at home is that much of a difference for some teams. And that has been the case for South Carolina. Even though they don't have a lot of wins, they've been really tough at home.
They may have just caught the Razorbacks off of I think we had won a couple pretty good games before that. Maybe they caught them on like an emotional high and they're just like, we're going to kill them. And then they just got smoked.
It was a short turnaround. If you remember, they had that overtime game with Texas.
Oh yeah.
In a game that ended up, Arkansas winning 86-81, and they had a short turnaround, playing with just, a extremely limited roster. So I don't know. The good news is you played early on Saturday, and you didn't have to play a Tuesday night game. You're playing Wednesday. So
yep,
they better be ready to go. Cause I'm with you. I think they need vengeance. They need to come back and beat some South Carolina ass at the end of the day. Hog Blitz says, Ty, we are in regardless. Committee will not leave out bubble Cal. I think that's
probably a fair point. So I was talking about that I think it was last week. I was like, I don't think they'll leave Cal out. So maybe we can get lucky and ride on his name a little bit,
I hope so. They got to do something. All right, boys. So as I mentioned earlier, for anyone who's just now coming in, I was at practice today, and it was interesting. We ended up with it starts with the quarterbacks. I suspected that, of course, no shit, Taylor Green's going to be the guy at 1. But the question was, what's going to happen at the 2 spot? Now, I felt pretty confident that backup redshirt freshman, or who will be a redshirt freshman, KJ Jackson, the 6'3", 220-pound lefty, would be the backup. He would be with the 2s, and he was. What I was not expecting was seeing Blake Boda, the kid they got out of the portal from shit. Where did I'm
Coastal Carolina?
Coastal Carolina. That's it. He ran with the 3s today. Now, I wouldn't listen. Spring camp's a long, you've got a long ways to go. And as practice went on, I definitely you did see Mad Niamaliava and Wilson get some reps with what looked to be like the twos. Now, it was really hard to keep up with because they rotate so many players, especially at the skill position. It was difficult to tell just who the hell was on the floor, or on the field.
Basketball season.
But I not much to say about Boda. Saw a lot of KJ Jackson today, though. A lot.
He looks sharp. How do he look?
Again, day one, not full pads. You take it with a grain of salt, but I still think he's trying to figure things out. I still feel like it's not quite deer in headlights like it was last year. Now, by the way, Patreon supporters, I've already uploaded one video like an hour ago or so. So that's been uploaded. You can go listen to it. I got more content that I'm going to upload from day one. There's already videos that are posted in Patreon Discord. You got to be in Discord. You got to be a Patreon member to have access to it, but I do have that there for you. There's going to be more stuff coming because there was a lot that happened today. But yeah, that was probably the big takeaway for the most part. Now, I know people are going to ask about Mad Niamaliava and Grayson and Wilson. Niamaliava, we did see quite a bit in one-on-one drills, and when he did run, like I said, with the threes. I'm going to say this much. This dude has confidence in his arm. He wants to throw deep. He's going to try and find somebody, and he's got to, I thought, again, you're trying to take it all in, trying to figure out who's at wide receiver and where's the matchup at on the field. He looked to have a pretty quick release. He did something too that I didn't see. I've seen several freshman quarterbacks over the years, or even just transfers, and there's some things you kind of catch at practice. They're probably somewhat meaningless, but I didn't see him. He didn't look to me to be completely lost, and he seemed to have a decent grasp on what was going on. Now, I'm sure Petrino, if you asked him right now, he'd be like, he has no clue what he's doing. Like, he is a freshman, just like Wilson. They're still trying to figure it out. But I guess what I'm saying is I thought he looked comfortable. Now, again, it's not full pads, right? It's day one. He might get lit up on accident. Someone might accidentally pop him, which the odds of that are probably pretty low, but you never know. It has happened before. We saw a player get chewed out every camp. I saw a player get chewed out for tackling someone they weren't supposed to. But yeah, there's still a lot of growth at the quarterback spot. I will say this. You feel confident with Green. I mean, I mentioned it in the Patreon video. Go watch it. I'll just say this. You feel comfortable with him at quarterback one, no doubt about it, especially now that you don't have Malachi. For the running backs, Braylon Russell, to me, still looked thick. They talked about him looking slimmer. Maybe he looked a little bit less.
They just said he was down to 238, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he was,
he's on depth chart as 253.
Yeah, he was 250. He's down to, I have the, what'd I do with it? I have the official spring roster, and of course I don't have it with me.
I got him right in front of me. What do you need?
You have the spring roster with the actual numbers and updated weight?
Oh, not the updated weight. I don't think so, because it's still got him at 6'1", 253 as a freshman.
Okay. I
he's
think
not.
The sheet has him lighter than that. I'm not sure. I'll say this. He looked about the same to me. I didn't see any big difference. The guy that stood out to me, the two guys that stood out to me were Rodney Hill and Tyrell Reed. Rodney Hill, there was a play they hit him on I don't know if it was a designed screen, because where I was at on the field, it was kind of difficult to tell what was going on because it looked like a designed screen, and he catches the ball and goes down the sidelines. I swear to God that I never saw him look that fast last year. I'll say that. He looked fast. Looked like he had a little extra kick in his step. Don't take that for, oh my God, he's going to be running back one. Not saying
22 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rodney Hill was showing out in the bowl game though.
Yeah,
that's true.
And he was pretty good at Florida State too.
Yeah, well, he was. Yeah, and he's going to get. I think he's going to get snaps this year, assuming he doesn't get passed up. We did get to see the transfer from New Mexico State, Washington. Got to see him a little bit. He's a big dude. I mean, he's not 250 pounds, but he's a pretty big back. I think he's 6'1", like 217 or something. He looks good to go. I don't know. Washington's going to be in the mix. Like, I feel pretty good about what's going on with the running backs. I really do. I got to see AJ Green too. He's grown his dreadlocks out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I forgot he's running back too, huh?
I didn't see him a ton. I don't think they let him carry the ball a lot. Again, don't know.
Wonder if he's still injured.
Well, I didn't see him with any extra like equipment on or anything. They didn't have him in a brace or anything. As far as the receivers and tight ends, I want to leave plenty for Patreon to chew on. There's going to be plenty of meat for Patreon members. There's a lot to talk about. I did see the tight ends, and I don't know, man. I mean, it was good to see him out there. We got to see Jaden Platt, the A&M transfer, Rohan Jones, and Andreas, the kid with the crazy Dutch last name.
Paskey.
Paskey, or yeah.
Poska, actually, I think
Poska,
it is.
That's it. Poska.
I always want to say Paskey, but it's Poska.
All the tight ends, and
Freaky deaky Dutch.
I do have a favorite out of that group from day one, if I could pick one, but that's gonna be left for Patreon. But I'll just say it. Rohan Jones looked good.
Rohan Gaines.
Yeah.
How many times are we gonna do that this year?
Rohan Jones looked good. He looks fast after the catch. I think that was the name that I mentioned in the Patreon video today.
Where did he come from?
Shit, you would ask me that.
Yep, sorry.
You always do that. You always ask me that, and I'm like, damn, I don't have it pulled up. I forgot where, but he apparently, and this is from what I understand, he was an absolute steal.
Looks like he's from Canada.
Montana State.
Is that
Montreal?
I have it in the Patreon commits somewhere. Yeah, Montana
State.
Yeah, where he graded out really good. Receiving grade, according to PFF, was 82.9. The guy didn't drop anything. He just stood out. I mean, he looked good. I don't want to, this is all the footage you're going to get from me. It's all I'm not going to know from here on out, like, how these guys look. We're going to have to go based on reporting. Good news is I've got people there. I'm going to get some pretty good information. So I'm not too worried about, not knowing what's going on at spring camp. But, and of course, there's going to be all kinds of information out there, whether it be on Twitter or wherever. But yeah, I thought Rohan Jones, I thought all the transfers today got in on it. Now, I know the name that everyone's going to ask about is Courtney Crutchfield. They really liked him over the middle. And I don't know. He didn't really stand out today. I'm not going to say that it was good to see him out there. He had a throw. I'm going to tell you this play. It was the last fastball that we got. It was the last bit of fastball that Arkansas had. And it was Madni Amaliava. He rolls out. He's got pressure in his face, but it was close enough where, like, even if they were in pads, the guy was not going to catch Madni Amaliava. And he makes this throw to Crutchfield on the sidelines while running, and it did not look like he had both feet. I know he didn't. He didn't have both feet on the ground as far as I could tell. Maybe the university will post a video if they haven't already on Twitter. It was a pretty nice play, and Courtney Crutchfield caught it, turned it upfield, and went down the sidelines. I think he was eventually pushed out, but and this was all happening. By the way, you're not going to get a ton of footage today from their fastball because they don't let the media get fastball on film. So unfortunately, you won't be able to see it. But the media team is there for the university, and maybe they'll publish some stuff. But it was a really nice play from a freshman to freshman connection. And it makes you hope for the future, assuming these guys stick it out and all that. And you still got Petrino here or whatever. Boy, that's got a long ways to go before we get to that.
I was gonna say that's a lot of stuff that could go wrong.
That's a lot of bridges you gotta. Yeah, that's a lot of bridges you gotta pass. But it was a really nice, clean play where it's like, damn, okay, he didn't look like a freshman. And to be fair, Crutchfield's not a freshman. He's a second-year guy, but he's a redshirt freshman. But it was still really nice to see. And didn't see a lot of that today, but that was a good one from Ian Maliava. Wilson did. I thought he looked like a freshman quarterback. I mean, he looked. I'm not saying he didn't have a good practice. He just, from what I saw, it looked to me like Madden's going to be competing. If anybody was going to be competing, at least for that third spot, assuming Jackson nails it down at the 2 spot. It's probably going to be Madden and Maliava, but we got a long ways to go, boys. Who knows?
So he's transferring to UCA is what you're telling me.
I don't know, man. He did have they're doing one-on-one drills, and he threw a ball pretty far downfield, and the receiver just got stopped by the corner. I think it probably would have been a PI had there been had it been a live ball situation.
Why do I see Monty Harrison as number 1 on the wide receiver chart?
Say what now?
On the outside receiver, Monty Harrison's in slot 1.
Okay. Yeah. I'm saving that.
Okay.
I'm saving that. I just want to say what I said last spring. I'll just leave it at that. He looked. I'll say I thought he looked good. Let's say that
He looked good.
Caught everything. And
that's cool, man.
Was getting wide open. Looked clean on routes. I unfortunately did not get any footage of him, but I was really impressed with him. Now, you know what? We said the same thing about a lot of guys last year. Broden comes to mind. At the end of the day, I mean, listen, these guys can do that. That's fair. The media is going to report what they're seeing. And I wasn't the only one that was like, yeah, Broden looked really good. It just happened to be the case. Once the lights came on, they were too bright for him. And he you know, of course, there's off the field stuff too, but I wasn't the only one that said that. And I don't know. And that could be the same case. That could be the same thing with anybody. That could be the same case where they're practice heroes, but once the lights come on, I felt that way about a couple. I thought Tesla. I thought he was kind of a practice hero. We never really saw him tear it up.
He had so many good clips.
He had a lot of highlight
practice of crazy catches.
Yeah,
he was good in the bowl game, but that's about it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he did a couple, but
the defense. There's a little bit to talk about there. Sorry, the middle linebacker, the Georgia transfer, former 5-star, looks like a leader on the field. It was funny. I heard the secondary coaches were getting pretty mad about the back end of the secondary not communicating. Again, they don't have Hudson Clark back there. Like Hudson Clark was that guy in practice. He was the guy telling everyone where to go. They don't have that this year. For all the shit that Hudson Clark took, the one thing I thought he did really well from what I saw in practice was he communicated with the secondary, with his linebackers. He communicated. And I think, you know, we'll see. Hopefully they work on that, but they are not going to have Hudson Clark back there. So
dude been running the defense for 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I don't want to, I keep asking you questions I should probably ask you off air, but any O-line updates?
I didn't really see
away from Oregon.
Only thing I saw was Robinson at left tackle, and I watched him a little bit. Thought he looked really good. He looks really technical. You know, like he looks like, I don't know.
That was his Georgia Tech transfer, right?
Yeah, he's a Georgia Tech transfer whose pass block grade is through the roof. I mean, this dude did not. I think it was he didn't give up a single sack all year, and he only gave up trying to find it. He gave up a small handful of pressures.
Glad to have him as a blindside tackle.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a left tackle. 6 career sacks given up, just 30 hurries. Last year on 539 snaps, he had 0 sacks given up, just 3 hurries. So that's information. Again, if you're a Patreon supporter, you can go to the portal commit page. You have full access to that if you've got your accounts linked, and you can see where these guys are graded at. We've got it right there for you. So yeah, I'm trying to see who else I had. Yeah, Broussard I did see run with the 2s at left tackle. So we did not. Maybe there were some other people that floated around that I didn't see. They had Fernando Carmona at left guard. Bubba Craig was his backup. Caden Kittler, who everyone was screaming about, like, why isn't he at center? By the way, Fernando Carmona did give snaps to Green, I guess, recently, and then they didn't. As far as I did not see him at center. I don't know if someone else did. I never saw him take a snap at center. But like I said, I was mostly watching skill position and quarterback. Who do I have at right guard? Now, right guard, I did have
Blackstock.
I had Blackstock at right guard. Yeah. Is that what? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And then
I don't know
his backup.
I don't know who played behind him. I have no idea. I think one of them was a walk-on.
Kobe Branham and then Tim Don.
Okay. All right. That explains why I didn't
Look how educated I am, dude.
Look at you.
Travis.
Right tackle was Harris, and I think McCroy got opportunities with the ones.
I know Blackstock better watch out, though, because Sam Pittman and the staff, they love Branham.
Yeah, they do.
So if there's a guy that's going to get jumped, it could happen.
I've been saying that for like once he committed, I said that's a guy Sam Pittman's been. Well, once he signed, Sam Pittman's been all over this guy. Good size, big
That
body.
dude follows me on Twitter. He's got sweet ass tattoos, bro.
Well, he's they like him a lot, and he's going to be a redshirt freshman, I'm pretty sure, because he didn't burn his red shirt last year. So, and over at the right tackle spot, like I said, I had Harris, and I think McRoy and Dummerville were in rotation, but I'm not sure how many snaps they actually got over there. On defense, probably the most surprising thing that I saw was that Kevin Otis was running with the twos, the true freshman. I've been telling everyone about, even before he committed, said this dude is big time. He needs to commit. And he's already running with the twos in the interior. Now, to be fair, Cam Ball was not at practice today. So
I think he's got a shoulder or something. Something's wrong with Cam. He's hurt.
Mm-hmm. And then and Saley, I think, got opportunities. Jaffrard was with the ones. They did have Caleb James, who's just such an undersized interior guy. I don't know why he's in rotation, but nothing against him. Congrats, you got there. But I mean, he's 260 pounds. I don't know that an interior guy in the SEC needs to be below 290.
Looking at the depth chart, it really looks like Pitt's still like making these guys work their way in.
Yeah. At right end was Collins and Boone. Mike linebacker was a mix. I saw what I thought Xavier Sorey actually playing the Mac. I'm sorry, or I've got it mixed up. They've got. I have Sorey at Mike, but I think they're kind of flirting with some things there at linebacker.
Yeah, they got Steven Dix at the Mac.
Yeah, Dix is at the Mac, and Wallace was behind him, the freshman. That's another guy. So, and that's with nobody missing at the linebacker spot. They've got Wallace in there. Remember, again, Wallace is one of those guys that committed and was a big time prospect. He did drop in rank after committing to Arkansas. So nothing to really say about the secondary outside of Jaheim Singletary did get reps with the ones. Jaden Allen, I think I have Allen. I've got Allen and Davila with the ones, and I think they mixed. Now Davila made a really good play today. I talked about that on Patreon. He made a couple of really good plays. So, there's a little bit of depth back there with them moving. They're moving wide receiver to the secondary. And I think I saw him back there. Hang on. God damn, are you going to make it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm all of a sudden
smoking all them cigarettes.
I guess that's what's going on.
They moved. Who was it? Former wide receiver going to play with the secondary.
Angel says Bryce Stevens.
That's it. Bryce Stevens. Stevens. I didn't see him. Yeah, they moved in the secondary. I didn't see him out there. So I don't know if he got reps out there today or not. I don't know. But I didn't see him. I'm not saying he might have been working with the special teams. I don't know. But yeah. So he was a badass. Oh, at Southside. Yep. Brandon's good, man. Yeah, Bryce Stevens. That's him. Bryce Stevens is going to play in the secondary. So that usually tells you that either he's just not going to see the field. Like they had to move him over. There's so much personnel at wide receiver. Like there's a lot of bodies over there. And we keep forgetting about Monty Harrison. We keep forgetting about him and Omega Blake. Omega Blake had a couple nice catches over the middle too.
I wasn't going to mention his name. I didn't know if that was Patreon. But,
yeah,
I'm serious.
There's a lot there.
Because I almost asked you about him.
Patreon's already got some footage of practice, quarterbacks and receivers. But I'm trying to answer as much as I can.
I haven't been in there today. I got to go scope it out when I'm done.
We did see Jacaden Ferguson out there a little bit too. He's wearing number 5. It's always weird to see someone wearing number 5. But the confusing part about Monty Harrison was he's wearing number 11. They also on the practice sheet they had the track Anthony. They have him at number 11 too. So I was watching 11 out there run around. I'm like, wait a minute, he's not supposed to be here. He's supposed to be at track. And then I realized, like, oh, that's right. Harrison's number 11. Okay. But yeah, man, there was a lot there today, and again, there's still some stuff I haven't talked about. I'm gonna talk about on Patreon, but plenty to see. You know, it's gonna be a process throughout spring camp. So I'm curious. At least I hope Monty Harrison. I hope what we've seen so far continues to translate onto the field through spring camp, and he has a really good, strong spring camp. The red-white scrimmage, we have that date.
Dude, you know how when you were younger and like it was so hard to learn new stuff, but like now you're old, learning something's pretty easy. Like I just wonder if with Monty, because he's older, right? If he's doing like if it's easier for him to understand the concepts of the offense, and that's why he's, you know what I'm saying, making strides.
It might be, yeah, it could be. I don't know. He you know, there were times last year in fall camp, or not fall. Yeah, no, it's fall camp where I thought he's going to make the field. In fact, I thought he was, you know, I had Mason Choate on around that time, and Mason straight up asked me on the show, he's like, how many catches do you think he has this year? I was like, well, based on what I've seen, how often he gets, you know, how often he's involved, you know, and the fact that he just looks so good in one-on-one drills, I think he could break the 20 to 30 receptions mold. I think he could end up being one of the 3 or 4 receivers that get called out onto the field. You know,
I wanted him to be a bigger deal in the bowl game. I was kind of bummed.
Say what?
Yeah, I really expected him to be more prevalent in the bowl game. I was kind of bummed about that.
Yeah, I was too. I was thinking he was gonna, you know, instead it was
maybe it's a good thing because he would have hit the portal, you know.
Yeah.
What's that one player? Who's that player?
Wait, who?
Oh God, the player who transferred. He had that one good game in the bowl game and transferred. I already forgot his name.
Dozier.
Was it Dozier?
I think
he
so.
ran 22 miles an hour on that one reception.
I don't think that was Dozier. I think it was someone else. Damn.
For sure.
All right, Chad, help me out, dude. I don't feel like looking this up. Because if I Google Arkansas transfers, it's going to take a year and a half to read them all. No, dude, he scored a touchdown.
Desmond James.
Desmond James.
Yeah, that's it.
I kept thinking, yeah, you're right. So the
Dozier was trying to transfer out the year before, man. He's like, y'all got any spots at Mizzou, remember?
Yeah. The spring game's going to be April 19th, by the way, for anyone who's going to go. It's not going to be televised.
Really?
I'm almost positive I heard Sam say that it wasn't going to be televised.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah, that's right. It's Desmond James had that big game. I don't know why I kept thinking Dozier. I always had, and I did that. Dude. I did that last year in camp too. I kept mixing them two up. I did it all camp until someone, one of the other writers caught me, and I said something about Desmond James. I said, "Damn, Desmond's fast or something." They're like, "Yeah, bro, that was Dozier." I'm like, "Ah, shit." Easy to do. Anyways,
Cal, didn't he?
Say what?
You went to Cal?
Probably.
I'm reading it.
I moved on. You know, once they're gone, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I didn't even know his name 5 minutes ago. So,
so yeah, if you want to get a chance to go, they're gonna. That's April 19th is what Google says. On, I think it's typically like a noon kickoff.
I'm gonna try to go if I'm in town. April what? 19th?
Yeah, April 19th.
As long as I don't have a cheer comp that weekend, I'm in.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. I'll go.
Maybe we'll make it a thing.
Yeah, let's go. I'll take Sean for sure.
We should go. Right. We should do that. Yeah.
Let's go on a date, boys.
I was thinking more of a meetup. Like a Tusk Talk. All you people meet
Sounds
up
like
together
a date
like
to
we
did.
Like we did at Flying Burrito, right?
Well, yeah, but yeah.
Thrust talk with guys.
Yeah. We would I mean, yeah, I'm down. We ought to do it if anyone wants to show up. You know, I'll be there. I mean, hell, Matt came to town and who's in our Discord. He's a Patreon supporter. He came to town. He was like, "Hey, bro, we're gonna go eat at Flying Burrito." I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So me and Matt had lunch.
I veto that place this time. They don't sell beer.
Wait, what?
Flying Burrito does not sell beer, so I'm out.
Flying Fish.
No,
dude,
stop selling beer.
I showed up hammered, and there was no beer.
Why am I not surprised when you said you showed up?
You showed up hammered.
I was at a football game in the SEC club drinking free beer. What do you think I am?
I don't know how many of your stories they always start with "I was hammered." and then you go on.
I live a lot of
Well,
life. Me and Nick
that's
Ultra.
a static state for Travis. I was hammered. Yes,
Here's
we
bro.
know.
There's a game for you tomorrow night.
I was at a football game, dude.
I was
Brought
with
to
you.
Yeah, you were.
Brought to you by BroThrow, Arizona State at Kansas State. Kansas State favorite at 5.5. Good God. So this will start filling up tomorrow if you want to go take some bets. Remember, BroThrow is peer-to-peer sports betting. These are locally. These guys are local, based right out of Fayetteville. This website is the owners and operators of the site. They are a sponsor of Tusk Talk with Ty. Use promo code Tusk, baby, all caps, and go lay down a bet, son. Go lay down $5. Maybe you think Arizona State's going to shock the world and beat Kansas State. I shouldn't say shock the world, but
Shock the world. Wow.
not quite shock the world, but I don't know. It's an interesting spread there, though. There was another one I was going to look up, and I already forgot who the hell it was. I think there's a couple of decent games tomorrow.
This is a basketball game?
Yeah, it's basketball.
Okay.
It's
So their tournament starts earlier than ours.
It's water polo.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was baseball. I have a weird setup in the corner of my room, so I'm like real Jameis Winston with it.
I wish they would do baseball. Maybe eventually they will.
There we go. I just zoomed my screen. Now I'm good.
Need to reach out to Brady, my boy over at BroThrow. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Go lay down some money. And we will have some more predictions up this week. So if you want to get involved and earn some XP and a potential shot at finishing near the top on the poll and you know, win some, I don't know, some cards, whatever we're giving away at the end of the cycle. Remember, it ends like next month. So if you're going to get in now. McRoy, what about McRoy?
He's huge.
He did play. Yeah, he was out there. McRoy was
playing
out
with
there.
the twos, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I have him. Where did I put him on my? Hang on, I had him on my depth here. Oh my God, so many.
I can't wait till that dude walked up to an interview and he's like,
What's up, guys?
Yeah, he ran with the twos. Yeah, at right tackle. Marcus Dummerville. So him and Dummerville are going to fight it out, I think, eventually for that one spot at right tackle. If you want my opinion, I know like Amarian Harris. If you look at his grades last year on PFF and just his pressures given up and sacks, bro. Oh my gosh, if Harris is your starter at right tackle, you've got some concerns. Unless he's just taking a huge leap forward. I mean, a big leap forward, which isn't impossible. But This guy is a fourth-year player. This is a redshirt junior we're talking about. So, and McRoy, who's a freshman, redshirt, and Dummerville's experienced, right? He's a super senior. So, anywho, all right, boys. So you both like Arkansas to take South Carolina. I'm gonna say South Carolina. So
You're a loser.
in my official predictions, I will be saying South Carolina also.
You're a loser also. Arkansas
are you?
Arkansas
No,
by
I have
7.
to do that. I do that every game.
Arkansas by 7.
Damn, I like that.
Yeah. Well,
We're not messing around this time. Arkansas by 7.
I do think
if they are pissed at one team, they're really pissed at them.
I'm with you that I think it is going to be a better game. That they're not going to get curb stomped again, knock on wood. That's not going to happen again, but I don't know. It's something about these physical teams. I don't know. South Carolina was just, and Tennessee did the same thing. They've just struggled against these kind of teams, and maybe they're just the kryptonite to Arkansas is what it is. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Is Arkansas better head to toe? Of course they are, but we're also talking about a short end rotation and the fact that South Carolina, their brand of ball just might be Cal's worst nightmare. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, man, because Arkansas, the more I think about it, the more I'm like convinced that they may need to advance.
I mean,
it's fair.
I
You know?
mean, both games you're talking about were home games for the opponent. So
Yeah.
Tennessee was at Tennessee, South Carolina was at South Carolina, and I just think you get away with more of that physical play at home.
You do, and you're not wrong. I said the same thing when Arkansas
I
lost.
Isn't the tournament usually a bunch of
think it's
soft
gonna
ass
be
refs
an-
anyway?
I think it's going to be an entirely different experience. They may try to play physical at first. I do think, to Travis's point, I think the refs will try to take control of this thing. So it won't be as physical as it was at South Carolina. They won't get the calls the same way.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a different game.
We did see for a while there, the saying was that Arkansas played better on the road. You remember that saying, but
Yep.
I mean, they still there's certainly evidence to the contrary where, you could talk about South Carolina and Tennessee and this is a neutral site game. And what was Arkansas's record on neutral site? It was
I don't remember.
4-6. No, that's road. My bad.
They won in Madison Square Garden.
I was gonna say that's a shit ton of neutral site. 1-2. 1-2 on neutral. And
well, I'm not going to change my opinion. I feel good about this. Again, it's hard to win multiple games against the same teams. It's hard to blow them out. It's harder when you're on a neutral floor. I mean, we suffered.
The Hogs are going to win the whole thing. Tell them.
No, they're not. They're not. But we suffered the worst possible game against South Carolina. The likelihood of having another worst possible game is pretty slim.
Yeah.
I mean, we shot like crap. We played defense like crap. It just felt like they gave up early. I don't see that happening again.
Yeah, we were pretty terrible offensively that game. Nothing was dropping either.
It was bad. And it was even.
If South Carolina wasn't the worst team in the SEC, we would have lost by 50.
Yeah, anybody else, that's
they're just
that was the ugliest
bad.
half of basketball I've ever seen.
It was so bad.
That was the worst part of my day that day, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
Well, they're literally so bad that it took our worst game maybe in the history of our program to lose to them, and we're just not going to have another game like that.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
Like I said,
I still think we go. We win the first two, and then we'll get beat by Auburn.
If you win the first two, you're locked in. So that's the good news. Yeah, South Carolina riding into this thing with a 1-2. They're 1-2 in their last three, and then they're 1-3 in their last four.
Had South Carolina not thrashed us, I'd look at our bracket and go, "That's the best case scenario," because it's the worst team in the SEC and a team that's trending down. You know what I mean? I'd feel a hell of a lot better about it if we hadn't just ate shit that game.
And the narrative also changes that for these people who have Arkansas needing a run, that narrative changes if you didn't lose to South Carolina, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because that's the only game that's holding everybody back. That's it. It's that game. It's that performance.
Quad 2 loss. It's a terrible loss.
It was a bad loss, and the fact that you lost the way that you did, couldn't even score in the into the 60s in that game. So, all right, boys. Well, that is. I think that's going to do it. We'll be back. I'll be back on Wednesday. Again, that's noon tip off, so I'll be here for the post game for that. Looking forward to doing it, fellas. I appreciate you. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Sounds
good.
All right. Thanks to everyone in chat again. Shout out to the sponsors, BroThrow and Direct Service Overhead. Please check out those links provided for you down below. Shout out, of course, to Patreon. We have the new name list and for Patreon supporters, and here you go.